So this is the PUIG Custom 2 Universal Windshield, and the instructions are kind of weird, but you don't really need them. This is kind of straightforward. So this kit came with these two brackets, or these two pole thingies, and then what you have to do is you have to loosen these two bolts right here and then stick the ball in here on both sides. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen this bolt right here, and then this comes off completely, so then it attaches to the handlebar. Both sides, there's this little cover right here, and then it comes with this to protect the handlebar from scratching. So when you put this on attached to the handlebar, this protects it, so you put this in between, and I think it's also for grip so it doesn't move around. All right, so we're gonna install this in, and so this gives us a little adjusting, a little wiggle room for adjusting. All right, right there, see? And I'll show you the end result in a bit. So this is how it sits right now. I kind of had to measure the distance with this and this. It's about, I don't know, it's right though. So it's kind of sticking out. There might be air that comes down here, but we'll test it out and see how it goes. So this is my line of sight right now. I could still see over. It's a little tinted, but not too dark, so we'll toss it out. And when you install this, you kind of have to adjust it a little. This thing comes off, so it's right in the middle where you need it to be. And I'm guessing this is for the wind if this thing gets knocked back into the headlight. So as far as I can tell, it's pretty even. All right, so from the front. This is the side. This is the headlight. And then this is how it looks from the front. Not too bad. Let's try it out. At this point in my ride, I've already taken the highway up to speeds of 75 to 80 miles an hour. And at this point, I am riding through the mountains to get to Palmdale. And when I was on the highway, I noticed a huge difference. I didn't feel any pressure, wind pressure on my chest. I did feel a little bit of wind coming over the windscreen and hitting my helmet. What I didn't know at this point was that the screw on my left side of the visor had come off. I don't know how that happened, but it came off, and so my visor was rattling. And at this point in the ride, I thought for some reason the wind going over the windscreen was hitting my helmet so hard that the visor itself couldn't take it, and it was just rattling. I did about 200 miles on this ride, and I just had to deal with the rattle the whole way through because I didn't know the screw had come off. and so I just dealt with it. I think if the screw hadn't come off, it would have been a quieter ride. My helmet was pretty loud, and so this whole time I thought the windscreen was a bust, and come to find out it wasn't. It actually helped relieve pressure off my torso, and the wind that was hitting the top of my helmet wasn't too bad at all. So this route goes to Palmdale, and I cut through to get to a little town called Little Rock, which I had no idea existed, and it's basically just on the other side of the mountain from Los Angeles. It's just this little town. It's east of Palmdale and Lancaster. It's kind of south from the Edwards Air Force Base. Anyway, this windscreen does work. Later on in the video, you'll see that the windscreen, I guess I didn't tighten the screws tight enough, because you see the two poles on either side. They did kind of get pushed back a little. You'll see later on in this video how far they got pushed back. But if you guys need something affordable, something quick to install for your bike, for windscreen, for long rides, that'll help with the wind, relieve pressure from your body, I do recommend this windscreen. There are other windscreens out there that do look much cooler, but I actually bought this windscreen when I still had the BMW, but I just never installed it because I already had the little windscreen on that BMW. So, and it took forever just to install it. So when I bought this bike, I figured, why not? I'll just try this windscreen, and it does work. It does help me out a lot. I didn't feel fatigued at the end of the day. Like I said, I did ride 200 miles, so it does work. It's not something I would keep on permanently. It's just something that I can throw on if I plan on going for a long ride. So yes, this does help out. So far, so good. There's not much rattling. You do see movement, but other than that, it is pretty stable. I don't feel any pressure on my chest. And so far, the only problem I have is the wind obviously goes over and through the sides, but the wind that's going over is hitting my visor and helmet, obviously, and it's rattling my visor. So I don't know if I need to tighten the screws on my visor, but the only comfortable way I can ride this is if I keep the visor down, which is what you're supposed to do. And yeah, so yeah, good so far. I'm in Little Rock, and the mountains are over there, and I'm gonna take that road to the right, which goes all the way down. I don't know the name of the road, but it eventually links up to the 15, and I go down, and then I hit up the 210 and ride all the way back home to LA. So right now I'm gonna go gas up. This is the Little Rock Library. Oh, this place is still LA County. I didn't know that. Anyway, this is like a whole nother world on this side of the mountain, and on that side of the mountain is Los Angeles. So, nice little quiet place around here. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go gas up and ride back home. This is going down the 15 freeway that's about to connect to the 210 freeway. You do hear a significant amount of wind noise, but that's because there's a lot of crosswinds in this area. This is a very mountainous area, and you just have all this crosswinds hitting you from all sides. So that's the reason why you're hearing a lot of wind noise. So this thing held up pretty nice. I reached speeds of up to 85 miles an hour and not much rattling or shaking. Despite it being kind of flimsy, it's actually pretty solid. So yeah, overall, good windscreen for the price on Revzilla. I'll put the link in the description below. It's just a quick little install for any motorcycle that has exposed bars like this. And yeah, so I'd say 4 stars out of 5. It does the job. Not a lot of wind resistance. Obviously the wind goes over, sort of hits me in the helmet a little bit, but no wind pressure on my chest. And yeah, held up pretty nice. So yeah, goodbye. And yeah, easy install.